Most people in life are looking for, how do I make a life that's my own? When we have people in government positions who forget who they serve, they often overstep their bounds. When they overstep their bounds, they often violate other laws that govern not only them, but also us. In our moment of time, we have to always be paying attention to the truth of the world, that the world is governed by international treaties and international human rights declarations, and openly those things govern all of us. We don't have exceptions to the rule just because we're sitting in a simple little house in the middle of Noblesville, Indiana, thinking we've got rights to do whatever the hell we want to in our own life. That's not exactly what the Lord has told us. You see, giving us free will means we have the right to choose our life before the Lord to a point. But when we go too far, when we overstep our boundaries into someone else's life and make a monkey's ass out of the Lord's plan for their life, we are going to pay for it. We are going to pay for it in time. We're going to pay for it in relationships. We're going to pay for it in those who we chose to love, but they may not be the people that God chose for us to have in our life. When the Lord takes someone from a particular relationship, it's probably because that relationship was not one that was prepared by the Lord. It was a choice you made. A choice you made to get involved with someone who was not holy, not healthy, not appropriate for you, but you ended up having sex after all. You ended up producing children, and now you're thinking you're going to manhandle or stronghold them into accountability for that. No, you're accountable for failing to protect yourself in those moments of time, and you're accountable for failing to understand that when men and women get together in relationship or otherwise that we have in this world, that you are solely responsible for your sexual relationships. You are also solely responsible for your intimate conversations with men or with women, or how you share private information. But when you start taking private, intimate relationships and taking them to total strangers and making monkeys' asses out of what the Lord has planned for your life, you literally ruin your entire existence. You do that. The Lord didn't do that. The Lord doesn't tell you to harm another human life, and I've said this many times in my audio casts. If you think that you are using your hands for the Lord to destroy someone, then you have failed to understand the Bible, you have failed to understand the Quran, you have failed to understand any religious or spiritual or educational work that has come since then from other Asian or Middle Eastern countries, like one of my favorites, the Tales of Confucius, and Mencius who followed him. But openly, those schools of thought teach the truth, that socially we are responsible for our lives. It's true that Tao might teach us that we're not regarding our responsibility, but that's not purely the way the world works. When we step into someone's physical space, we are stepping into their physical space. When we intellectually go into someone's life, we are doing so, and when we psychologically invade someone's rights, we are violating the Lord's house. When we talk like this, it's not about we, it's about you. It's about whether or not you regard human life. That's the fundamental principles of the treaties that govern our great land. That those treaties play out first and foremost in our country. It's not about whether or not our treaties that in the United Nations or any other world organization like the United Nations literally openly do not play out in other countries. Those treaties must be first regarded in our home country. So when these people come here across the border illegally, immorally, and solicit people for information, like when I was getting a hamburger from someone who literally received from me almost $100 plus in quality tennis shoes for that trade and that food, I don't need you asking me if I have family. I don't need you asking me if I have children. I don't need you soliciting me information as if it looks like you're trying to figure out whether you can take me out of my life and take over my name or my lawful birthright. My family came here on the friggin' Mayflower, actually before that, just like many other settlers did, and openly that's the truth that we know from Ensigns in America. We have those books, or one of my late siblings had them, and maybe now his children do, but the point is, I have legal rights to my name. I alone have legal rights to my name. When people like Plon